Go to the post office, buy some stamps, get a really nice pen that you can use, and hand write a note. I call this the power of two cards, or two cards of power. There is tremendous power in the handwritten word. Welcome to episode number 3 of the ROR Factor. And we've got a really great topic we're going to talk about today that's going to let each of you know where to begin. One of the questions I get, people say, Christopher, you have some of the most incredible relationships. You've been able to share stories of people that you've been able to collaborate with, not to be, not doing the name dropping thing, but individuals that will reach out to you that are really well established in their entrepreneurial journey or their business, highly acclaimed authors, people that are at just an absolute maximum level in their business and reach out to you and say, hey, how can I help you? How can I serve you? Tell me more about what you do. And they're like, how do you get these relationships? Where does it start? I don't know where to start. People say, give me somewhere that I can start. And so that's what I want to talk about today is where this can start for you. And I'm not saying that if you're listening to this, that you're not an individual that is grateful. You're not an individual that takes advantage of people. At least I hope that you don't, assuming that you don't. People are generally good individuals and people are grateful. But where everything starts, where ground zero is and where it was for me and where it can be for you too as well is gratitude. And so one of the things in my life is I have a rock that I carry around and it has the words gratitude on it. It's one of those rocks that you'll see in a store that have, motivational quotes or words on the rocks. And so this gratitude rock is something that I carry around in my pocket. Now, a lot of times, you stick your hand in your pockets just out of a nervous habit or whatever, it's just kind of a habit you do. And every single time I stick my hand in my pocket, I feel this smooth rock. And I remember the word that's on it. And that word is gratitude. And so if you're thinking, love this return on relationship idea, love all the wonderful things it can do, all the factors and changes it can make in my life and my business, but where do I start? And that is with that one word, gratitude. So let me talk about that a little bit deeper. That's the thing that you want to lead with. That's where you want everything to come from. So I was talking with my wife one day, and it's always interesting. If you have ever had a dog, if you have a dog, you understand that sometimes you walk in a room and the dog can sense that something's wrong or something's not right. You're like, how do they know this? Can they read my mind? What is it that I'm doing that they can pick up on that something's not right or something's not okay? Whether that be you're angry or you're stressful. So I was talking to my wife about it, and she did a little brief research about it, and she found something really interesting. And I can't quote the study, but what she shared with me is when you're stressed and when you're angry or things are going on in your body, sometimes your body secretes this hormone that a dog can pick up on the scent. Now, of course, they could pick up if you're shouting or you're yelling, they could pick up on that and that would upset them. But she was sharing, I was like, wow, this is really amazing. They really can't read my mind or they don't know what's going on, but actually through the sense of smell, they can understand that something's not right. And so the reason I share with you that story and that conversation I had with my wife was because the same rule applies with people. And that's one thing that I want you to understand of what we're talking about today. When you reach out to an individual, you have to think about it. If say, take an influencer, for example, that you're trying to, maybe you're trying to reach out to, you're thinking big, like I've told you, like Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi, or, whoever that might be, Ed Milet, whoever it is, Jenna Kutcher. I mean, whoever it is, male, female, big influencer, medium, small, whatever level that they're at, you're trying to connect with them and you reach out to them. Think of the hundreds of thousands of people that are reaching out to them as well. How do you set yourself apart? How do you be different than everyone else? How do you display a level of authenticity? I mean, people are always talking about be authentic, be authentic, be authentic. Well, one of the ways that I share with you and how you can be authentic is be different than everybody else. Reach out differently, be different. We live in a digital age. And reaching out digitally and sending DMs and sending messages is something that's just overused. And people need to understand that there's a time and a place for that. But if you want to be different, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, how can I turn the head? How can I get someone's attention? Be different. Be different than everyone else. The way you can do that is you can lead with gratitude. And every time I stick my hand in my pocket, I rub that rock and I think of gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. What are the things I'm grateful for? It makes you think of, what am I grateful for this person I'm trying to establish a relationship? What am I grateful for, thankful for this person? How can I show that gratitude to them? And if you start from that place, that is where everything begins, because you're building on a foundation of something that's great. You're building on a foundation of gratitude. And a lot of, I've talked to people, I've had people reach out to me and say, oh, I want to reach out to this. I want to build a relationship with this person because I want to do this joint venture and it's going to be really huge. We're going to make tons of money. It's going to be really great. And so I reach out to the person and you seem needy, or you reach out to the person and you're not leading with gratitude. You're leading with something else that you want. And they know that. And as you connect and build relationships, try and connect and build relationships with people, as you reach out to them, they can smell that. They can sense it. And one of the great things, in a lot of these episodes, you've heard me talk about my dear friend, Dave Woodward, and just this incredible human. And I remember I learned so much from him. And he told me, Christopher, as we were building a relationship, you never, ever made me feel like you wanted something. As I received gifts and as I received notes from you, I never got the sense that it was for a purpose or that you wanted something. And that's something that you have to remember, that leading with gratitude and having that be your ground zero is going to help you naturally, organically make that individual or that person feel like, oh, they're not reaching out to me because they want something. They're reaching out to me because they genuinely care. Now, Stephen Covey tells us, begin with the end in mind. So it's okay that, we teach our ROR students how to divide their list of targets. It sounds impersonal, but you want to be strategic about your relationship building. But as you have these individuals that you want to build a relationship or put on your list of individuals you're trying to reach out to or target or build relationships with, as you're doing that, you want to keep in mind that there's all of these other people that are trying to reach out to them as well. And so you set yourself apart by showing gratitude. Now, beginning with the end in mind, you know that there's going to be an opportunity. You know that there's something that you want, and that's okay. You think of this person, you're like, wow, it would be really great if I could have this person on my podcast. It would be really great if this person would interview me on their podcast. It'd be really great if I could take my product and their product and put them together. And I've heard so many stories, and we're going to interview some of these people on this show to let them know how there's this one story where someone did over $20 million in business through this collaboration, through this relationship. And that's just one example. And so as you're reaching out to these individuals, the best example I can give is I remember when I was dating my wife. Those of you can remember when you were dating somebody, you were trying to win them over. You were trying to get their attention. You were trying to get them to willing to do something with or go out with you or marry you. Every single thing that I did for my wife as we were dating before I asked that big question, will you marry me? If I got her flowers or took her somewhere else nice out to eat, or I sent her a note, or all those nice things that I did, in the back of her mind, she knew that I was driving to a certain destination. She knew with my life values and my goals that there were things that were next steps for me in my life. And that was finding a wife and starting a family. But she never felt like I had the wrong motive. I never pushed her away. I never made her feel uncomfortable, because when I reached out to her, when I did things for her, it all came from the right place. And so as you reach out to people, as you try and build relationships, as you try and collaborate, you have to remember, you don't want this individual to feel like, oh, they just want something, that it's not genuine, it's not real. They really don't care about me. You want somebody to know that, hey, I care about you. I see you. I recognize you. I am grateful for all the things that you shared, all the content that you've put out there, all the Instagram posts, the Facebook posts, or the emails, all those things. You want them to know that you're grateful for that. And if you do that and you lead with that gratitude, it sets the foundation for everything else. So as you reach out to them, as you connect with them, as you build on top of that gratitude, you have that right foundation. And then you have this amazing, strong structure. You have this amazing relationship that you're building that will last forever. You want to build as many relationships as you can. You know, Jim Rohn says you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. I believe that the strength of your business is the sum of the 5 most powerful relationships that you have. You think of some of the largest companies that you have right now that you can do studies of. There's great books that talk about these amazing companies and where they started. And a lot of these stories that you hear started with a relationship. It started with a friend. It started with a collaboration. And they explain on how that started with that friendship. And they explain how that person came into their life. And time after time after time, you see these stories that all built on the fact that someone showed gratitude, someone expressed a concern, or someone expressed a thank you to that individual. And so a lot of people are like, okay, where do I start? It starts with gratitude. Just Google gratitude, look it up, study it, learn the definition of the word. Google, how can I express gratitude to others? There's so many things that pop up. But if you do that, you will never make someone feel that you have a motive. You lead with that. You lead with a friendship. You lead with a relationship. And a lot of people, sometimes people disagree with me and they say, no, you can just reach out and just say, hey, I've got this great idea. Do you want to do it with me? But here's the thing. Are you trying to create a business deal? Something that's temporary, something that's transactional? Because so much right now in relationship building, people have made it so transactional. We want to take it out of the transactional and we want to put it into the relationship side, relational, not transactional, relational. And so lead with gratitude. And I want to give you a little something that you can take away as you're listening to this podcast, something that you can start today when you get off of this podcast. If you do what I tell you to do right now, you are going to plant incredible seeds that are going to blossom into huge relationships and huge opportunities. People, like I said, people say, where do I begin? We've been with gratitude. And the other thing you begin is reach out and connect with somebody, but do it different. Don't do it digitally. Reach out to them with a great example. Something that I teach my students is you write a handwritten note. Go to the grocery store, go to the drugstore. I mean, they sell these just about everywhere. You buy a package of thank you cards. They usually come in packs of 20. Go to the post office, buy some stamps, get a really nice pen that you can use, and hand write a note. I call this the power of 2 cards, or 2 cards of power. There is tremendous power in the handwritten word. It's something that's a tradition that's been forgotten. Back before we had electronic devices, all you could do is write someone a note, write someone a letter. Sometimes you can really express amazing things through the handwritten word. And the great thing about it is the association that people have when they go to their mailboxes, usually mailboxes are bills and negative things. Rarely is it the written word. Rarely is it someone that's reaching out to them, just sending them a note that says, hey, I just wanted to express my appreciation. I wanted to express my gratitude for you. I wanted to thank you. I just watched or saw something you posted on social media, and that was so timely in my life. I just wanted to reach out to you, and I wanted to say thank you. And when you write these notes, you don't have to write this book. What you want to do is you just want to say, hey, I recognize you. Express something that you're grateful for to them and let them know if there's any way that you can serve them or help them, and just show your appreciation. Keep it short, sign it to your name. Now, people are always saying, Christopher, how do they get back to me? If I send this note to them, how are they going to know how to get back to me if they want to reach back to me? People are always concerned about that. But here's the great thing. On the outside of the envelope, you put their address of where you send the note to. In the return address on the top left-hand side of the envelope, you have your name and your address. They have everything that they need to be able to look and search and find you on social media. They know where you live. They know your address. They know your full name. They're going to be able to find you. And I am a testament that just by that simple little thing, and I'm going to share a story in one of the upcoming episodes that proves how this is so true, that if you send these notes out, the return on relationship that you will get from these notes is massive. What if a check in the mail just showed up for a large amount of money that someone said they just wanted to send you because they wanted to help you and they knew that you were probably in need with what is going on with your life, and it just shows up? How incredible would that be for you? How life-changing would that be for you? And I've seen people reach out and say, hey, thank you so much. Well, how'd they get how do they find me? Because they have your name, they know where you're from. And so there is so much power in a little thank you card, tremendous amounts of power, huge, because people are like, wow, they took the time to go buy these. They took the time to go buy stamps. They hand wrote a note for me. They put a stamp on this. They sealed it up. They took it to the mailbox, or they took it to the post office. This took some time. People have an emotional response. We're going to go more deep into this in one of the upcoming episodes about how important it is to create an emotional response. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you did. People will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so when they open up this note, they read your short, small little message of gratitude, not asking for anything, just serving them and expressing gratitude to them. It creates this emotional response in them, and it moves them. And it's like, this is what they say. This person's interesting. This person is authentic. I want to get to know this person. Now, maybe they might not reach out to you, but that's okay. That is the seed that you planted of that relationship. And then what you want to do is you want to water it. You want to nurture it. You want to take care of it. And then that seed's going to grow. And that's going to grow into huge opportunities. 99.9999% of the time, the key relationships that I have in my life, people that come to me like, how in the world were you ever to get that person's attention? How are you able to get them to turn the head, to give you the time of day, to reach out to you? That 99% all started with a handwritten note, a thank you card. There is power in those cards. And the reason why it's the power of two cards is I challenge you right now, as you're listening to this, I challenge you to take the next 30 days, go buy a bunch of thank you cards. What I want you to do is I want you to fill out 2 of those cards per day as part of your daily routine. If you do this, you will see the magic. You will see the relationships that develop. You'll see the relationships that will come into your life and create these opportunities that you're looking for. It's so incredible when a student reaches out to me and says, oh my word, I just sent this person a note, and they reached out to me on social media and thanked me for it, and then said those magical words. Tell me more about what you do, or tell me how I can help you, or just someone just simply reaching out and saying, thank you. There's that connection. There's that return on relationship. You reached out to them. You showed them gratitude. You did something for them, and they did something in return for you. Maybe that first time is just a thank you, or maybe it's something greater than that. But if you lead with gratitude, if that is where you start, that is a relationship that's built on the right foundation. And all of us out there, can think of a time when we were reached out to by somebody and you knew that there was something that they wanted. You knew that they didn't really care about you. You knew that they didn't really want to know much about you. They didn't learn anything about you. They didn't spend their time to get to know you. It's like with my wife. I didn't date her for the first time. And then on the second date said, hey, will you marry me? The answer would have been no. The same thing goes with your building your relationships in your business life. You need to spend some time. You need to get to know the person. You need to pour into them. You need to show them that you care before you pop the question of, hey, can we do this joint venture? Can we do this collaboration? No, stop doing that. Build on the right foundation. Build on gratitude. Go out and grab one of those gratitude rocks, carry it around in your pocket. And every time you stick your hand in it, you feel that. You'll remember, lead with gratitude, lead with gratitude, lead with gratitude. So when people ask me that question, that's where you start. And if you do that, you're going to have so many amazing seeds. If you do 2 of these per day. Now, if you miss a day, that's fine. If you just send out one, that's fine. If you miss a couple of days, that's fine. Just try and be as consistent as possible and send these out every single day for the next 30 days. And as you're listening to this, what I'd like you to do is when you start to see the magic happen, when you have people reach out to you, when you have a return on relationship back to you, when you get a note back to you, when you get a message back to you, reach out to me. Tell me the success. Tell me when someone does that. Tell me your experience, because I love to hear those. People reach out to me like, Christopher, I just had this huge collaboration I did, and it just started with this one little note. Now, in return on relationship, we have something called the ROR method. And the ROR method, return on relationship method, is a process that we teach our students to go through to make sure that they have success in building this relationship. And so writing notes is just one of the things, but that's the place you want to start. There's so many other things that you can do to nurture a relationship and build a relationship. We're going to talk about that as we go through these episodes. We're going to talk about things that you can do that's going to make you stand out even greater to these people that you want to build a relationship with. Remember, you are one relationship away. You're one relationship away from altering your life. You're one relationship away from changing your business forever. I'm alive today because of a relationship. And I'm so grateful for that person. I'm so grateful for the people that have come into my life. And everything in life and business swings on hinges. Hinges open up doors. Those hinges I call relationships. If you've ever taken a door off the hinges, you recognize how heavy that door is. How can these 2 to 3 little hinges hold up this massive door? How can these little hinges swing open this big, heavy door? Big, heavy doors of opportunity. It's because there's so much strength in those little hinges. There's so much strength in relationships. And so go out right now, focus on relationships, lead with gratitude, do those 2 cards a day. If you got any questions, please reach out to me on social media. I'd be glad to answer those questions. But if you do this, you will see magic happen. Use the power of those 2 cards. Use the power of gratitude. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next episode of the ROR Factor. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate every single one of you. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments and everyone and how everyone's getting fired up and excited about this podcast and the notes that you've been sending me and the messages you've been sending me. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. We'll see you back again on the next episode.